All right, welcome. In this explainer, we are diving into the single biggest mark winner in your entire GCSE English language paper. We're not just talking about how to write a good story. We're going to lay out the exact roadmap to a grade 9.
First things first, let's just appreciate what's on the table here. We're talking about a massive 40 marks for this one question. You know, that's a quarter of your whole paper. Getting this right isn't just a bonus, it is an absolute game changer.
But here is the thing, and this is so important. Just writing a story that makes sense, that has a beginning, middle, and end, that is not going to get you to the top grades. The real challenge, the thing that separates a good grade from a great one, is crafting a response that is specifically engineered to hit those top assessment bands. And this, right here, this is basically the secret code, Assessment Objective 5. You can think of it like a two-part mission from the examiner. Part 1, communicate with imagination. Part 2, organize your ideas with real purpose. You've got to nail both of these to get anywhere near those top marks.
So to get to that grade 9, we really need to understand the journey. What is it that separates a pretty standard response from something truly exceptional? Let's map it out. Look, a simple, chronological story with a few nice words in it will probably get you a pass. And hey, that's a solid start. But like it says here, that's just the baseline. The top grades, they demand so much more. They demand real craft.
Okay, let's look at the actual language the examiners use. On the left, you've got a level 2 response, some successful communication, and attempts at structure. Fine. But now look to the right, a level 4. The words totally change to convincing and compelling and varied and inventive. That's not a small step, that is a massive leap in quality. So how on earth do we make that jump? Well, it all comes down to two absolutely crucial pillars that we're going to build together today. If you can master these, you are well on your way to a top band response.
So let's get into our first pillar. This is all about moving beyond just describing what you see and instead making your reader actually feel it.
Exactly. See, your goal isn't just to describe a room. It's to immerse the reader in it. You want them to feel that chill on their skin. You want them to smell the rain in the air. You want them to hear the creak of the floorboards right under their feet. And your number one tool for this is to engage multiple senses all the time. Don't just tell us what a character sees. Ask yourself, what can they hear? Is it the distant hum of traffic? What about smell? Damp earth after rain? What can they feel? The rough, scratchy texture of a brick wall against their fingertips? Let's see how a pro does it. Look at how Judith Allnat takes a simple tree and makes it, well, something else. Yeah, you've got visual words like massive and twisted, but the real magic? It's that personification. The branches aren't just branches, they are knuckles. The whole tree becomes a gigantic malformed hand. Suddenly, it's not just a tree anymore, it feels like a threat. And this chart just spells it out perfectly. Using simple adjectives like big or old has a really low impact on the reader. But look what happens when you start adding sensory details and then layer on powerful figurative language. The impact just shoots through the roof. Your job is to live in that high impact zone. That is where the grade 9 marks are hiding.
But you know what? Even the most powerful, beautiful imagery in the world will fall flat if it doesn't have a strong structure to hold it all together. And that brings us to our second pillar. If imagery is the paint, structure is the canvas and the frame.
So you need to start thinking of structure as your blueprint. It's how you deliberately control the reader's journey. You speed things up, you build tension, you shift focus. You are the director of their whole experience. Now, a standard beginning, middle, end story is fine, but it is not going to get you top marks for structure. To be inventive, you've got to play with time and perspective. So as you can see here, you could use a flashback, maybe start right in the middle of the action. Or what about a cyclical narrative? You end the story right back where it began, but this time with a new, powerful understanding for the reader. Here is a super simple but incredibly effective structural technique you can use right away. It's the zoom. First, you start wide. Describe the whole scene. Let's say a storm-swept beach. Then, step 2, zoom right in on a tiny detail, a single cracked shell half buried in the wet sand. Finally, step 3, zoom back out, showing how that tiny detail fits into the bigger picture. It is such a powerful way to control focus. And please, don't forget about the rhythm of your writing. Short, sharp sentences. They make the reader's heartbeat faster. They build tension.
A single one-sentence paragraph, that can land like a punch to the gut. On the other hand, long, flowing, descriptive sentences can immerse the reader, slowing time right down. The key to all of this is variety. Consciously mix them up to control the pace of your story. So we've got our two pillars, compelling imagery and inventive structure. How do we bring it all together? Well, it all comes down to adopting the right mindset, not just when you're editing, but throughout your entire writing process. This right here is the absolute non-negotiable for a top grade, sustained crafting. It means every single word you put on that page is chosen consciously for a reason. Ask yourself why you chose the word walked instead of shuffled or trudged or strolled. In grade 9 writing, there are no filler words. So this is your final grade 9 checklist. As you're writing and as you're editing, you have to ask yourself these questions. Is my vocabulary sophisticated? Is my tone controlled and consistent? Have I engaged multiple senses? And is my structure actually inventive? If you can honestly answer yes to all of these, then you are producing a truly convincing and compelling piece of writing. And that is the mindset you need to take into your exam. For question 5, you're not just a writer, you are an architect. You don't just tell a story, you build an experience for your reader, word by word. Be deliberate, be inventive, and go earn every single one of those 40 marks.